You guys, it's God Links, and we are back, and it is so awesome. At lunch, I met a new friend, and Marilyn Bay is in the guest seat spotlight here at ASA. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you were an awesome lady, and you were the speaker earlier, and she was telling us about sheep, and wow, I'm like, okay, there's so many things we can learn from sheep, right?
Absolutely. It was just a chore when I was a kid, to feed the sheep, birth the sheep, all that sort of thing. But as I've grown older, things will happen, and it's just like, oh my goodness, that's me, God speaking to me, or that's a message for someone else, or something like that.
So, and I ask every guest to say a little bit about who they are, and I know that's a part of who you are.
It is. I'm a sheep farmer. I grew up on a crop and sheep farm, and then as an adult for nearly 25 years, I have grown sheep or raised sheep commercially just myself. But I'm also an author, and I also write historical fiction in addition to the.
That's awesome!
Thank you. So
very cool.
I love story.
I was going to say, we were talking about the power of storytelling, and how people like heads turn when someone's telling their story. And that's why the King of Glory is the story, because here at ASA, that's what they do.
Yes.
They make him the King of Glory.
And it's so amazing to be with these women that just really support each other. There's no competition. There's ladies that are amazingly accomplished, and they'll come alongside you and just say, hey, look, I have this idea. And it's
great. And that, this day and age, that can definitely be tough to find.
Yes.
Like to find your tribe, find your people. And when you do, God does so much like mass activating in that.
Totally. Yes.
He likes to show off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how can we find your books?
I'm at Marilyn Bay, MarilynBay.com. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And then there's more information about me. And I write my mantra is hope and truth from the prairie. And whether that's fiction or nonfiction or the sheep telling, I tell a lot of sheep stories.
And I bet they're endless. I mean, I bet you're just always seeing things that you're like, you know what, that I can relate to that in real time, real life.
Totally. That is absolutely true. I've been trying to do more sort of YouTube type. Well, I record myself. I'm not very good at it.
Hey, keep doing it though. We need that. We need those stories.
I think so.
Yeah, it could be a sheep podcast. We need one. Yeah. I don't know how many are out there, but we need one, folks.
I need help with the technology.
You know what? If I can do it, she can do it, and you can do it. These are for the followers too.
Yes.
Whatever dream God placed, because He did. There are dreams. Yes, He calls you according to His purpose, and when it's His purpose, it's going to work. And I'm telling you, there's so much in you that is like God's hidden treasure.
Yes.
Right? And so with that, I want to know what's going on in this season. I'm going to ask you that. But the way we're going to leave it here, we got to leave someone with like a little nugget or treasure too.
Okay. So I'm working actually on 2 books pretty much simultaneously. The sheep book, All We Like Sheep, Lessons from the Sheepfold. I want to do a similar one. I'm also an equestrian. I ride Western. And I have a lot of friends that blog, and they're cowgirls as well. And so I just want to collaborate with other women to write that sort of lessons from, like bits in horses' mouths.
That is so cool, because
devotion.
That means a lot to me, because I worked for Omni Hotel in Fort Worth for many years, and we have all of the rodeos in that town, and I'm sure you know, and that's just like a soft spot, spot in my heart. I said spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, and the irony, I guess what I would share, I'm also working on the 3rd in my historical fiction series, and they all have horses, and some have sheep in them.
Oh my goodness.
It's kind of, like me, rural.
I love it.
But one of the lessons, I guess, that I wrote not too long ago is actually a horse story, not even a sheep story. But, to be really useful to the rider, the horse cannot bar its mouth up. It has to give and be soft and supple. When the rein is pulled, it needs to turn.
Yes.
And that's kind of how we have to be with Jesus. If we want to be used by him, we have to turn and be soft and supple.
We do. So good. So good. You know, and God just loves that about us. He loves when we obey because he can handle the load of things when they get heavy. Right. Most definitely.
Yes, but he needs us to be listening to him and in tune to him.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I know everyone's going to want to go get those books. So,
I hope so.
So it's Amazon?
They can find them on Amazon.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just MarilynBay.com is my website, and then you can click on the book there and order from Amazon.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in, and I'm just honored to know you.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah, totally. We're going to be friends. And as far as the future, I should have her back for like a full podcast episode on sheep.
I would do that.
I just think people really need to hear it.
Yeah.
Truly.
Now,
I want to know, is this true? Because I've seen memes before and everything else about the oil over the sheep's head. Like that they dip the sheep in oil sometimes to keep the bugs away.
I don't do that, but I'm from a very arid climate.
Oh, so I gotcha.
The kind of disease that we have is maybe different than what you have in Texas or other countries, but they do have a natural oil called lanolin. And I remember when I was a kid, my mom said, it actually goes into a lot of lotions. You don't ever, if you're a sheep herder, you're never going to have dry hands. So,
right. That's cool. That's a cool fact.
Yeah.
I like facts like that.
Yeah.
That's neat. So what would you leave everybody with today?
If God calls you, answer the call. We've been discussing that a little bit offline, and it doesn't matter. Even if it's just to speak a kind word to the lady in the grocery line ahead of you or behind you.
Yes.
Or if it's something bigger, and usually it does start small because he wants to know: Are you going to heed my call?
Absolutely.
In the little, so that I can trust you with the big.
Oh, that's awesome. And you know what? That's true because we don't have to dive in head first to something. God will lead you step by step.
Absolutely.
Just like a sheep in the. You see what I did there? The shepherd and the sheep. Well,
absolutely.
Thank you so much for being a part of the kingdom and just loving Jesus.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great time at
All
Asa.
right.
Bye, guys.